Thank you. Alright, I want to introduce the band here too, you know? Bass guitar, my paisan, Silvano Dragon. Let's see him.
If it got to that point where it was like, if someone said choose, I would absolutely be a band.
On the guitar, my other paisan, Mr. Joe Michelizzi.
I guess just it's all about promotion of the band and getting people to come out, which is the hardest part.
On the drums, my third paisan, Dana Della Rosa.
So I think there is a good future for the band, but I really think it comes down to us really just getting a little more exposure than we've been able to get.
Next song's called Word on the Street. I walked down the sidewalk once, I saw red back strolling back. Sometimes I like to come up here and serenade the world.
Evan, I think it would be the serious yet quirky one.
Just sick lunatics, if you ask me.
You know, he'll like when we're working, he'll work hard and stuff, but like when we're joking around, he'll bust jokes and you know.
Get out of here, you rascal!
Once in a while, I'll hear him sing, and it kind of gives me a chill because it, like, it reminds me of myself. But he's been doing his own thing since he's really young, and I said, don't get locked into anything. Listen to blues, listen to, jazz, punk, and you'll come up with your own style. After a while, it'll just kind of evolve. So I just encouraged him to, be open-minded, and now he's listening to Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, so he's really open-minded.
So I met the band, well, let me say this first. I'll give a little background, Well, growing up in high school and stuff, I was in a bunch of bands, always playing music. Safety Patrol. That was actually a band, probably I was in high school or like middle of high school, but we were in a band called, like a punk ska band called Safety Patrol. And it was all about having fun, that kind of band. Like that was rock and roll too, but we and actually one of the songs that we have now on our album, Ways Away album, Listerine, was carried over from that band. As I got into college age, I wanted to start a new band, so I looked on Craigslist actually for a guitarist, and I found Joe on there. And it turned out that we actually went to the same school. I didn't know that at first. So we clicked off right away, and then Silvano, I knew him from church growing up and stuff. He's a good bass player, so I brought him in.
We're all kind of similar, like we're all, I know they've mentioned it, but we're all Italian, we all like, I don't know, we all just have like the same personality, we all think the same stuff is funny.
I have a bigger weenus than Joe.
You don't know anything about that.
Who's got the bigger? That's a huge weenus.
I know.
Who's got the bigger weenus?
Oh my God, Joe's got a big one too. I think mine's bigger. No, yeah. As far as image, we're definitely trying to bring that like old like leather and rock and roll. Like it's fun to wear. Like I would love to wear shoes and dress shirts and dress pants all the time and stuff like that. But it's kind of hard. Like when you're going to work in school, you don't want to look like who's that guy? I don't think that we're that well established that I can just pull that off and be like, yeah, play for a ways away. What's up? Screw you guys. But yeah, no, I definitely like getting dressed up.
I want to talk about like the drum situation too. We can do that when we're Ian, I guess.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's not a big deal, but because I'll tell you now. Well, we had our drummer that we recorded the album with. His name was Mike.
Yeah.
And we played with him for like 2 or 3 years. So we went back to Virginia. He was done with school already, graduated. So then we looked for drummers on Craigslist for like months. Yeah. Like you always see on Craigslist like a bunch of older guys. Yeah. And we're like, all right, we need to start playing. So let's just try out one of these guys. So we tried out like the session guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like some of these guys that are just good. You know what I mean? Like they can play with anybody. And then he comes in, he starts shredding back there, like playing the songs exactly how the CD is. And we're like, oh my gosh. So we're like, yeah, maybe it'll not be a bad idea. We just had to start playing some shows. His name is Dana, but. Dana? Yeah, he's not a girl.
Do I really have to tell you how old I am? That's cool. No, that's cool. I don't care, man. Well, my name is Dana De La Rosa. I am 51 years old, and I play the drums.
This is what I do. I sell bicycles for Giant Bicycle, product placement. So you've got, this one is 500, this is 400, right here. Monday through Friday, I go into bike shops and I talk to them about Giant bikes and products and technology and, you know, tell them why they should buy my product instead of everyone else's because it's so good. But whenever I'm riding my bike, it's very rhythmical when you're spinning, you know, you turn the cranks, you get into a rhythm. So I start hearing songs, I start hearing a Ways Away tunes, and I start playing songs depending on the fast cadence of my pedal.
I responded actually to Craigslist, and I kind of said, you know, because I could tell from the pictures in the band these guys were a lot younger than me, and I was like, hey man, you know, I got a little more gray in my hair, and you know, just a little less hair too. I was just wondering maybe if I could come down and audition for the band.
But ideally, you want to have, you know, for young guys, like rock and roll is, well, it's actually changing now. But it's originally a young man's sport, you know. You go back to the 50s, if you were over 22, you were old, considered old. I mean, I'm still, I'm a little not that I'm self-confident. I mean, is that the right word, self-confident? Yeah. Not that I'm self-conscious of our band's image on stage, but still, I'm always like thinking, like, what do other people think about him being up on stage? Like being that he's older?
I think I'm more conscious of it than they are, because like I think when you get older, you start to think, you know, am I trying to fit in with guys that are too young for me, and am I trying to wear clothes that are too young for me? And
the reason why I'm even playing in this band now, or continuing to play music, is because I like playing music and I really like A Ways Away. So I mean, I'm willing to go with these guys anywhere they want to go right now.
We got drums, we got guitars, we got basses, we got amps, we got effects.
I'm in the band and I'm the roadie.
We got leather jackets, forget about it. So that show we played at Rowan last week was actually the first time we played outside of, you know, the New York City area. It was for a frat party. A couple friends of ours were having a party down there, so they needed a band. So we jumped on that.
I don't know, New Jersey, it definitely has like that rock kind of personality, like, you know, don't take bullshit from anyone, that kind of vibes.
you know, I grew up in a generation in the 70s where, you know, smoking dope and drinking and doing drugs and acid and everything was part of my generation. So I did a lot of it. And I did so much of it to the point where I shouldn't be doing it anymore, but I kept doing it. But when I go to a party like I did 2 weeks ago at a frat house where they're doing beer shots and having a good time and rolling in beer, I'm having a good time too, because it's like, I don't know how to say this the right way without sounding like a 12-step recovery group, but I'm spiritually fit. I really feed off the energy that comes from playing in this band a lot, because You know, the guys are young and fresh, and they've got a lot of good ideas, and you can see it and feel it on the stage.
Like I want it to be like, you know, the cool, you know, rock and roll band. So, but, you know, you can't always, you know, you can't worry about what you can't control, you know, right now. So I'm gonna take it one step at a time. We'll see where it goes, you know.
So I get a lot of people in the bike industry that love music too. So I always turn them on to A Ways Away. I bring my iPod with me. I say, check out my band. I took the iPod last year to the sales meeting, and I was playing the music for everybody at the company. They're like, this band's awesome. You got to bring them out to California. So I think we go out there, we'd really do well.
Yeah, so last week we just got featured in the Alternative Press magazine, which is probably, you know, one of our better accomplishments. We got our picture in there, a little interview and a bio. So it's pretty sweet, you know. It's the May edition, May 2012. Pick up a copy at the store near you.
And we've started to work on a couple of new songs, and it's kind of cool because it's not a continuation of it, it's an expansion of the sound.
I got a few song titles I'm working on, but I'll save that for the next documentary. All right, rock and roll. Rock and roll. It was rock and roll. Rock and roll. So that was rock and roll. Rock and roll high school. Rock and roll. That's so rock and roll. That was rock and roll. Rock and roll college. Rock and roll. Rock and roll.
I know you don't want to get dirty, so.
I'm not thinking so. I can play some rock and roll.
Rock and roll. It's all rock and roll. It's all rock and roll.
Rock and roll university. That's what rock and roll is. And rock and roll, the epicenter of rock and roll. Rock and roll is not about rock and roll. Punk rock and roll, alternative rock and roll, reggae rock and roll. When rock and roll is dead, there'll be peace on earth. That's rock and roll.